In a world where ninja can mold chakra and wield some of the most dangerous jutsu known to man, there exists a chance for a lot of things to go wrong. What happens if someone just decides to kill a bunch of innocent civilians to perform Edo Tensei? Some of you guys might say, well, that's what the Anbu Black Ops and that's what the police force are for, which is absolutely true. However, where do these men and women go if they aren't executed? Well, the answer to that is Hozuki Castle, better known to Naruto fans as being Blood Prison. Hozuki Castle is located in an area that is controlled by the Hidden Grass Village, which at the end of the 4th Great Ninja War was invited into the Shinobi Alliance moving forward, largely due to the 5 Great Nations wanting to make better usage of the Shinobi prison that's located in the land. While the prison was first introduced to us in the 5th Naruto Shippuden movie titled Blood Prison, the prison itself has been made canon to the franchise via Boruto Chapter 13, and before that in the Kakashi Hiden and the Shikamaru Hiden novels that are set before the start of the Boruto anime. You might ask yourself, what's so special about this blood prison? Well, for starters, it's a massive castle that has been converted into a supermax facility that's meant to house dangerous criminals from all the 5 Great Nations. These criminals are held here until they're brought back to the village to be executed, or on the rare occasion a village requests for their release. Blood Prison is special in that the warden of the prison possesses a special sealing jutsu that cuts off the ability to mold chakra, and at any given moment the warden can have the seal be used in a way that can kill the prisoner. Now, in the Naruto Shippuden movie, the warden was called Mu, who was a man who possessed a fire-style sealing jutsu that burned the prisoners to death on his whim. However, the warden in between the events of the Kakashi Hiden novel and the start of the Boruto anime is Kaio. Now, for those of you who have seen my video on Kakashi's tragic love story, then this name's gonna sound really familiar to you. Kaio is the very same ninja who Kakashi fought with and fell in love with after a group that Kaio is affiliated with carried out a massacre in the Land of Waves. For those of you who are interested, I'll leave that video in the end credits for you guys to check out so you can see the full heartbreaking story. Now, it's unclear if Kaio is still the warden of Blood Prison by the events of the Boruto anime adaptation of the Mujina Bandits arc, though it should be noted that she should be, unless something happens to where she steps down. However, I will say this, if she is, then she's more than capable of doing so, and there's a reason why Kakashi handpicked her to be the warden. Now, Kaio possesses the Ice Release Kekkei Genkai, but her Ice Release Jutsu allows her to watch the prisoners by trapping them in ice release chains that require the prisoners to constantly mold their chakra to avoid freezing themselves to death. Kaio can control the temperature of the chains, so the colder that the chains are, the more chakra that will be required to avoid freezing to death. When she used this jutsu on Kakashi, Kakashi himself stated that the jutsu gave him a considerable amount of trouble, and it should be noted that this is Kakashi who doesn't have the Sharingan anymore, which means he doesn't have a shiny red eye that's constantly eating away at his chakra and eating away at his stamina. The fact that Kakashi was struggling with the jutsu when Kaio used it to his full power speaks huge volumes. In this prison, prisoners are able to mingle during meals and exercise, and they're able to move around freely from early sunrise to just when the sun sets. Blood Prison operates in the same manner as the prison that Sasuke and Sakura are at during the events of the Sasuke Resident novel, which means that prisoners who came to the group could come and go. However, instead of a large beast patrolling looking for prisoners who try to escape, here at the Blood Prison, the warden is fully confident in the sealing jutsu. Under Mu, if a person got too far away from the prison, then the seal was set to incinerate them to ashes. Under Kaio, there's no indication that her Ice Release Jutsu does do something like this, but it's very likely that the chains will freeze the person to death. Anyone who's caught trying to escape is placed on a solitary confinement for 3 days, and that's just for the first time. The second time is 5 days, and if you're caught 4 times, then you're permanently placed in solitary confinement until you're brought back to your village to be executed, or the village itself asks for you to be brought out. Now, for those of you who are wondering how the Blood Prison itself was brought into the story, just know that there were some retcons that were done, but not in the way that a lot of people have been saying that didn't actually read the novels. Now, Kakashi Hiden doesn't necessarily make the Blood Prison movie canon to the timeline itself, but more so the actual prison is brought into existence with a few retcons from the movie that omitted some of the events that took place in it. It was stated in the novel that Mu was killed several years earlier. In response to this, the 5 Great Nations assigned shinobi to watch over the prison, rotating them in and out. Kakashi's first act as Hokage, however, was having Kaio being agreed upon by the 5 great nations to be the new warden of the prison. As for why Sasuke wasn't kept in this prison and instead was kept inside of Konoha, I'll just say this. It's very likely that Konoha kept Sasuke under lock and key using those seals until Sasuke awaited his trial. Sasuke committed offenses against all of the 5 great nations, but it did make more sense to have Konoha be the one who handled his trial. Naruto had to beg for Sasuke not to be given life in prison, but that prison itself was never stated. And Kakashi had to make a plea as the 6th Hokage, offering to take full responsibility if Sasuke ever went off the rails ever again. All of this was required in order for Sasuke to be released. In my opinion, having a prison that's dedicated to keeping shinobi in check makes a lot of sense, since they would be keeping some of the most dangerous criminals far away from their respective villages until it's time for them to be executed. So how do you guys feel about Blood Prison now? What do you guys think? How do you feel that this is going to be done in the Boruto anime? Originally, I was planning to make this video much later in 2020 because I thought that there was a chance that the anime would be doing the Mujina Bandits arc in the summer, and turns out we're actually getting in the beginning of the year, so I had to bump this video up. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.